got to enjoy gate for the last time. We are at Yashio factory, and if you haven't figured out what's happening today, we are pulling the engine on the S15. Not because there's a problem with it, but because we're gonna make this thing more reliable, make more horsepower, do some upgrades, put some new technology on this thing, fix her up. It's never gonna look like this ever again. Hope you guys are excited. This is gonna be a fun journey, and we're gonna be building a super reliable, hopefully around 500 horsepower S15 with an SR20 base. Get pumped. Now that we've got the car on the hoist, we're gonna get straight into work. I'm gonna be working and trying to get this thing out all by myself with a little bit of help from Yuta here and there. He's working on a customer's S14 there. Also, the batteries and everything finally arrived from my Milwaukee half-inch rattle gun. So I'm pretty excited to start using that today. And enough talking, let's get this thing in the air. We're gonna start by removing the transmission, and then we'll remove the engine and worry about all that afterwards. So let's get this thing up in the air. Bringing it back down because I made a beginner's boo-boo. We wanna remove the shifter first. So let's get in and do that. Just gonna need a screwdriver, I think, remove all this stuff, and then there's just a circlip in there and we should be able to pull that out. Removing a shifter from an S15 is super easy, like I said. Just need that one screwdriver, which is pretty much used to just get all the different rubber seals out. And then all you need is a little circlips tool like that. Pop that circlip and you get this bad boy all out in one piece. No problem whatsoever. Just be very gentle with the screwdriver that you don't damage any of the rubber seals. There's 3 in total. That's a better look at all 3 rubber seals that you can see there. And if you damage any one of those, you pretty much have to buy an entirely new shifter assembly, which comes with all of those preset on there. You can buy them separately. I think the top one you can get separately, but the rest you can't. They kind of get pre-assembled on there. The whole shifter assembly with all of this is only like $60 from Nissan brand new. So I've had to do that once already, because if any one of these seals gets damaged, transmission oil will leak through and your whole cabin will smell like tranny fluid the whole time. Now that we've removed the shifter, we can finally bring this thing up in the air and start removing the transmission. So I started removing the transmission at about 11. It is now 12:04, so within the hour, I got the S15 transmission removed. Definitely a little bit tricky than other transmissions I've removed. There's not much space in these chassis. In fact, it's very common that even the Nissan mechanics will bash the top of the tunnel here, so you've got a little bit more clearance to remove them. Pretty common thing amongst all mechanics on their chassis. Otherwise though, we got the thing out. It's my beautiful Nismo copper mix clutch, which we're probably gonna have to replace for an ORC twin plate after we're done. But yeah, that's the next thing I've got to remove, and then I think we're gonna go get lunch and probably eat some ramen. But a few people have asked me about the Nismo transmissions and like, are they really stronger? Are they really better? And I mean, as you guys know from the dyno video, we've been on the borderline of 400 horsepower now for 2 years solid non-stop drifting. I've used the crap out of this with insane clutch kicks and all that kind of stuff, and like 7,000 RPM drops and stuff. Thing hasn't missed a beat, and I haven't had a single problem with this. The only thing I've had problems with is blowing up drive shafts. Not drive shafts, axles. So that's about it. These things are amazing, and as long as you've got all the other right hardware that matches it, like the Nismo copper mix clutch and stuff, you really don't have any issues. This is probably the best clutch you could use on this thing. Anyways, that aside, I'm going to get to removing that. I'll probably show you it when it's all off, so you get to see the nice billet plate and all that stuff. But for now, job well done, Sam. First S15 transmission removed by myself. Obviously we had Yuta help me kind of like pull it out of there. Also, pro tip, one thing I did forget, which is why the step ladder's here, is you need to tilt the engine like this, right? Which is why we have this here. And make sure you undo the silicone coupler on the throttle body for the intercooler piping. That gives you lets the engine tilt even more. So that was the only mistake we made. Let's get to the clutch. Just got the clutch removed, and having a look up in here, it looks like someone may have actually been inside my engine at some point in the future. Definitely removed the whole bottom part of the oil pan. So I'm kind of curious to see if anything's going up inside the engine. I've heard stories of people opening SR20s in Japan and there being already forged internals in there. I don't think that's going to be the case though. I think this is probably going to be more likely that the rear main was replaced, and at the same time with this plate removed, they just put a thick layer of silicone here. So I don't really see anything around here. So I think it's more so just the rear main was replaced and everything's going to be OEM in there, because I don't see anyone putting forged internals in this engine and not changing the head gasket to like a HKS aftermarket metal one, because there's just a stock head gasket on this one. But yeah, making moves anyways. Down here you can see flywheel's been removed, that nice Nismo one. Yeah, this was brand new, and you can see that it's just copped a lot of heat and abuse, a lot of clutch kicks. Clutch still has a lot of meat left on this. I'm really tossing and turning if I should bite the bullet, do a CD09 swap right away, just because we can probably get the MazWorks kit out here within a week, but it all depends on time frame as well, because as you guys know, this whole thing's going to go to the body shop, and if the guy who's doing the body work tells us he's going to need 2 weeks, then I'm probably going to pull the trigger and get the MazWorks CD09 kit, and we'll get a Z34 from the 350Z transmission in there with their bell housing kit. And we'll sell the Nismo transmission and clutch package. For the transmission, I want at least 250,000 yen, which is about 2.5k USD. This is a stronger transmission. As you guys know, we've been at that power level for quite a while, and it's never caused any issues. Shift's nice, and the gear ratio is really, really good for it. Highly recommend it. And then also Nismo Clutch, brand new, about 8 months old. Obviously it's copped some abuse, but there's still plenty of life left in this, and I probably want at least like $600 for this bad boy, because this is an expensive clutch. But yeah, probably do the whole package for like $3,000 or something like that. If anyone's interested, please DM me on Instagram. Since we're talking about selling stuff, it is currently Golden Week here in Japan, which is a week-long public holiday, except for Yoshio Factory. They're too busy to take advantage of that. But that aside, to celebrate Golden Week, I'm doing a store-wide sale, 15% off everything on SAMMIT.net. Go grab yourself some merch. Now is a good time to do it. The coupon code is just GOLD. Head to SAMMIT.net, grab yourself some merch. Support the S15 build and me getting a CD09, please. And with that, let's get back to work. Decided to take a quick break and go to our favorite ramen joint. This is gonna be good. This is where it's at, guys. This looks amazing. Shoyu ramen. My wife is definitely not gonna want to sleep next to me tonight. So much garlic in it. Gochizou-sama deshita. Today, it was so good, I had to drink all of the soup as well. It was amazing. Back from lunch now, and I've already got the engine oil draining. I removed the radiator and a bunch of intercooler piping already and kind of got straight into it. Once the oil's all drained, I'm going to disconnect the power steering, drain all of that, and then there's not much left before we can actually pull the motor out. As you can see, we've already got a fair bit removed there. It's all over the floor right now. I'm trying to make sure that I have my own little space over here in front of Okachan's car, and I'm labeling everything that's mine so we don't get anything mixed up, because knowing my luck, I'll accidentally mix something up, because it all is the same. There's practically only S15s in this workshop. But anyways, we're going to keep chooching along. Hopefully have this all finished in the next hour or so. We should have the engine ready to pull. So as you can see, engine is now removed from the filthy thing that is my engine bay. It is so dirty and gross in here, and I hate that it's all grey. So this is all going to change, and it's going to turn pink. That aside, engine's out. You guys would have just seen us pull this, and it looks pretty cool out of the car, not gonna lie. This is a pretty cool shot right here. Like the S15 in the background and this thing's chilling here. But we're gonna put this now on the engine stand, and then I'm gonna start tearing down. We're gonna take the hot side off, and I'm gonna throw this manifold in the bin where it belongs. We're currently working on getting the turbo off, and I'm just going through teaching the new apprentice everything on how to remove a hot side. Well, my hot side at least, because he's got to learn the ropes, because in the next month or so he's got to be able to do this kind of stuff as well. So I'm just helping Oka-chan, giving him some training. But that aside, I'm just excited to get this manifold off and chuck her in the bin. Where is the bin? It's around here somewhere. Oh, there it is, looking prime and ready for that manifold. The exhaust manifold has been removed from the engine, and where does this exhaust manifold belong, Yuta?
In the bin.
That's right, my guy. In the bin. Let's go. Goodbye. So what I'm working on right now is starting to remove all of the livery, heating it up as we pull it off to make my life so much easier. Obviously, I've decided to get the whole car repainted, so we got to take the whole livery off. Look how easy that comes off when you apply a little bit of heat. So good. Boom. One whole piece is now off. Now I can move on to the next lot. Man, feels so weird having to take all that off. I haven't seen this thing naked in a long time. It's gonna be interesting. So as you can see, I already removed all of the livery off this fender, started down here and on the door. I think Yuta started on this side too. Oh yeah, he's pulled off some. Oh nice, he's nearly got the whole fender removed too, without a hot air gun too. Definitely takes a lot longer. Man, it looks so good without a seal on it. I forget how good this looks. It's a new day, we're in the S15 and it's already moving again on its own power with the help of my new engine, Yuta. Motor? Okay. Finished getting the livery off on both sides, except for the bonnet. Look at that. Thing looks so good. I've not seen this thing with no livery on it for a long time. Needs a wash because there was a bit of dirt and stuff that got under it in certain places. But I also transferred all of my passing tech stickers for the competitions that I've done, because this bonnet is going to go on the wall at the workshop as kind of just like a, you know, nice memorabilia kind of piece. And I thought it'd be cool to transfer these onto here, because this was like the first stage of the S15 and what we did with it and accomplished. So I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, livery is all off, guys. This thing looks nice, clean. It's been a while, hasn't it? Look at that. It looks naked. Like, it looks so bizarre to me. Oh, so good. All right, time to start pulling the motor apart now. Got this thing on the stand in here and we can start disassembling it, and maybe we'll get the bottom end apart today. I don't know, we'll find out. So we've been working on stripping down the engine, and while I gave the apprentice the crappy job of taking the intake manifold off, you can see we've kind of just been filling up that box full of wiring loom, bolts and everything. I'm gonna work on getting all the accessories off. I've already taken coil packs off, water neck, bunch of hoses and things like that. Already got all the belts off, water pulley. Gonna start taking out the water pump, power steering pump, AC compressor, alternator, probably the harmonic balancer, engine mount brackets. I'm gonna get all that stuff off. A few little bibs and bobs like this, like the oil feed adapters and stuff that were for the old turbo. Those are gonna be going to Yuki Tamada-san for his 180SX. I sold the turbo to him for a really good deal because his turbo blew up. So just passing on the love, and this thing should be ready for us to take the head off like the next hour or so, and then we'll be able to flip the motor over, take the oil pan off and see what we're dealing with. We are now up to the stage of taking the cams out. You'll see that I've gone and I've marked each and every cam cap here. This is super important. You don't mix these up. If you mix them up, well, you have to get everything line board or just get a whole new head. So don't ever mix up your cam caps or throw them away. Trust me, been in a situation like that before. We're gonna go and place these down on this box we have here, and then I'm gonna go and make sure that everything stays in the same order. We've got it all marked just in case it doesn't, but this just ensures that we don't have any problems whatsoever when reassembling. and we should be good. Just got the cam caps off for the intake side. Now we're gonna lift this out and slide the cam out through here. This is the fastest, quickest, easiest way to do it. Now we're gonna, for now, place that there. Now it's time for the intake side. Always keeping tension on the train. I mean, well, it's not really necessary because we're pulling the whole bottom end apart. But if you weren't pulling the bottom end apart and you're just doing cams, always keep tension on the chain so you don't mess up your timing down below. And we should be able to just kind of, oh, this goes in here a little bit. There we go. Same thing, lift it out, slide it out through the front. Keep tension on your chain and bend that over there so it doesn't fall in. A good way to keep tension on your chain is to put a screwdriver or something through that to hold weight on it there so you don't have any issues. Because right now it wants to pull it back in, right? You don't want that. So I actually missed a very important step, which is removing all the rocker arms and shims. Once again, make sure you get these in the exact order that they come out in, because if you mix these up, you're gonna have a very bad day as well. So everything's in order here, all the little shims too. Don't mix up left and right. Trust me, there's a difference. Use a magnet to pull them out. Little rocker arm locators, I guess you could call them too. And put them all in their place, one by one. So we're gonna go through and do that before taking the head bolts out. We could also remove the lifters, but I don't know if we're reconditioning the head yet. Once we pull it off and I'm able to inspect it, we'll know if we need to get it reconditioned. It is a low kilometer miles engine. Like, it's only done 50,000 kilometers, so I doubt we'll need it, but we'll inspect the valves, check that. If so, then we'll pull all the lifters and everything out. We'll send it away. Just finished undoing the head bolts. I'm gonna remove the head now. Watch out for the chain guide. Have someone help you if they can. And then we can lift this up and go and sit this in our cardboard here. And we get a good look now at a few things. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Not too bad. Looks clean there. Now let's have a look at our pistons. Head gasket. Yeah, so definitely a stock head gasket here. So doesn't look like it blew or had any issues either, which is nice. I mean, we didn't have any symptoms or anything like that. So that's good. That's the bin. Having a look here. Piston walls have a lot of cross hatching still in them. So I think we're gonna be really good. Man, everything looks super clean though. So the battery died before, but as you can see, all the piston walls are in really good condition. Lots of cross hatching there, which is great. And the best thing is when I was inspecting the head, there was no signs of detonation or anything like that, which is obviously attributed to Oka-chan's amazing setting. Well, tune, sorry, in Japanese we say setting instead of tune. But as you can see, he's back and we're getting ready to have lunch. It's actually a little bit special. So we're cooking some beef right now, but after that, I'm gonna bring out the shrimp, because we started a tradition. When I hit 60,000 subscribers, we did what we call in Japanese an ebi party. And ebi means shrimp, and well, we'll cut to the next clip and I'll show you. Oka-chan has just hit 60,000 subscribers on his channel. So I had to make sure that we continued the tradition, and I got the biggest shrimps that I could find. Ooh, yeah, these are big Johnnies, guys. Costco hooked us up. Let the ebi party begin. We got all the butter and garlic in there going. Let's go. Finished lunch, back onto the engine, removing pistons. First one is out, and already discovered that pretty much we did have stock pistons in here and rods. So this thing held up really, really well, right on the 400 mark for that entire time. And the bearings on this look amazing. They look brand new. Don't see anything wrong. Look at these, brand new pretty much. So I'm really happy with the condition of this motor. We're gonna obviously put all this aside because I'm sure Oka-chan can use these stock pistons and rods for some customer or something in the future. But for me, we got some new HKS 4Gs going in, so we'll put these aside as spares for now. It is now time to pull the crank out. Heaviest thing about this engine. Now, unfortunately, we have a little bit of a problem. Number 3 main has a pretty decent gouge in it. There's a little scratch in there in the bearing. Now what this means is something somehow got in there. I mean, it could have happened even before, but we actually do have a little tiny scratch that my nail kind of catches on the crank. Now this is a virgin crank, like it has not been machined before, so we should be able to get away with like a little bit of a polish and stuff, and should be able to just use a little bit of an oversized bearing on it. But this now means that this engine build's gonna not be as quick as we wanted it to. So everything's going to the machine shop now. This is gonna have to get polished and balanced and everything. I mean, we were planning to send it away to get balanced anyways, but this needs machining now to fix. Or we may even need another whole new crank. It sucks, but it's kind of normal. So, that's that. The block is bare. Man, I'm so bummed about that. Dude, every other one was looking perfect and amazing. I'm devastated. I love looking at all the parts like from the rotating assembly all laid out like this. Something so like mesmerizing and satisfying about it. I don't know, maybe it's just me. But with that little bit of kind of maybe bad news, I think we're gonna end the video here today. Like I said, it's not the end of the world. We're hoping that because it's a virgin crank and it's not a super deep groove that it is polishable and it can be saved. If not, it's not the end of the world. Okachan has a bunch of spec secondhand cranks here, as well as even brand new ones from Nissan. So we can go down that route if we need to, but hopefully we don't have to. It's super important. I mean, honestly, it's not too bad of a groove. You could just slap new bearings in it and slap it together. But this is a build that I want to be reliable. I want it to hold around 500 horsepower and stay there. So this isn't the time to be making shortcuts and stuff like that. So I think you guys understand that. I'm sure you do. For now though, yeah, I mean, SR build's gonna probably take a little bit more time now, but that's okay. It just means we're doing things even more properly. So with that, guys, smash that like button, write us a comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video, hopefully not crying over my SR. Peace out. Ciao mata.